Siefkes. Start with Andy.
Andy's always first. Yeah.
Ask the same thing as Coach Montgomery. What in your mind is success in spring ball look like?
I think the biggest thing is just getting better every single day, you know, individually for the players and then collectively as a defense and then obviously as a team. You know, I'm a pretty day-by-day type of person, so it's whatever the next step is. And for me, I told the defense this today, can we just get better on the next rep? If we can do that, then we're going to start to build on top of that.
Sam, I wanted to ask, in terms of creating the scheme, what do you want to get accomplished this spring in terms of identifying with the players what you want this defense to look like heading into the season?
Yeah, you know, part of what I told them today was, you know, one of our philosophies is adaptability and being able to mold what they're good at to, you know, who we're about to play and how we're about to play them. And so I think the biggest thing for me is figuring out over these next, you know, 15 practices is, you know, what can we do really well and what do we need to improve at and where does, you know, our multiplicity lie in the blend of who we're going to be from, you know, my past 15 years of being with different defenses.
I wanted to ask, two new hires came in.
Yeah.
One guy who played for you at Wofford, Jair, bringing him into edges, and coach you worked with at Wofford, Brian Whitehead at nickel.
Yeah.
What about them and their experiences in working with them and coaching them that you felt, okay, they can be a great addition to the staff?
Yeah, you know, I think number one, especially being around Coach Pry and the mentality he has about, you know, kind of blue collar and you know, our work ethic, those guys embody a lot of those things. You know, Jairo played for me, obviously at Wofford, and was a heck of a player in his own right, but he embodied those things and you know, he's one of the best human beings I've ever met in my life. Take the football piece of it away. And, you know, Brian, he's kind of always been the type that's just, he always gets stuff done. You know, my dad used to tell me all the time when I was growing up, don't be the guy that doesn't get things done. Just find a way to get it done. And that's kind of what Brian embodies, and I appreciate about him. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, X to the Z, as I like to call him. I don't know if he likes that or not, but X has done a heck of a job so far. He's very detailed. I think he gets the players really well. All of the players really admire him and the path that he's kind of gone through. And I think there's a mutual respect amongst him and obviously the players. And so he brings a little bit different voice, which I think is appreciated in that room. I know I've leaned on him and allowed him to kind of make that room into what he wants it to be. I think that's important for position coaches to have that type of autonomy. And he's done a really nice job of taking what my vision is for the defense and obviously what Coach Pry wants as a team, and he's been able to embody that within the inside linebacker room. So. Yeah, you know, we're going to try to have some things that are similar to last year so they can kind of compound on some of the things they did well and what I felt like they did well and obviously what Coach Pry felt like we did well. You know, I spoke a little bit about this. When I first got to the NFL, I worked with Mike Zimmer, and I felt like he did a really good job of encompassing a lot of who I am today. And so I think a lot of that shared vision will kind of be implemented, at least at the start, with kind of who we are foundationally, because I think it has streamlined into what they have been in the past and kind of who we could potentially be in the future. So I think the roots will be somewhere in there from my knowledge being with him in 2021. And then, you know, I've been a part of almost every type of scheme humanly possible, which is kind of to my benefit, but I think we'll grow and branch out from my experiences there and just kind of see where the tide takes us. Yeah. Yeah.
How eager are you to see what you have there? What kind of possibilities do you see?
Yeah, very eager. Number one, to see the guys that maybe didn't get quite the opportunity last year to be able to showcase their skill set and where they've grown. But number two, obviously, there's some guys in the mix that have transferred here that I think will do a nice job and be able to compete. And so, they're gonna. I told these guys today, the advantage that everybody in this room has is that I'm new, right? And so I don't know if any of them can play or can't play, right? They have to prove that to me on a day in and day out basis. And so, there's the guys that have played a lot of reps here, but they also have to earn that from the get-go with me, no different than the guys that maybe transferred here, or the guys that are incoming freshmen, or guys that maybe have been backups. So that's the benefit, obviously, coming in and being new to the situation is it allows for guys to find and carve roles and get a fresh start. And I think that's beneficial for a lot of those players.
Follow up on that. Do you have a lot of them? Do you have a lot of them in terms of versatility, scheme that's out there? What do you see?
Yeah, I've never been very black and white on you have to do this, you have to be in this alignment, you have to be, with your hand down or this foot forward or, I've never been big on that. And my biggest thing is, on a whiteboard, things are black and white, they are. The board is white and the marker's black, but the world we live in is gray. And I think that's how I've always coached inside linebackers is things are never going to be black and white. And the best linebackers that I've ever been around understand that things change in an instant. So if you're not prepared for that at any position, DB, linebacker, defensive line, it's going to be a hard time for you to be able to play because, things happen. Guys get cut out of gaps. Linebackers misfit something. A safety doesn't do the right technique. Like that stuff happens in the game of football. How can we react and be able to play to that and help ourselves? And so I guess digressing from the point, like I'm not going to tell them that they can or can't do something until they show me they can't do it, is probably the main thing.
Any questions on Zoom for Coach Siefkes?
No questions on Zoom, Travis.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
All good? Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.